something which the chaps both here and Benning and probably Bovington also will repeatedly hear is, "Oh, why did you chop up the armor of the vehicle and cut it out and leave plexiglass?" And they're probably quite tired of it. Well, there's a couple of reasons. A, it wasn't them what did it, as the English might say. It was a decision that strongly predates it, and there is a reason for it. Because although from the historical perspective, yes, you don't want to rip up vehicles like this, especially rare ones like Tigers and King Tigers, but there is a method behind the madness. And what it is basically is this is a training aid. The US government was going to keep these things around just for the sake of keeping around, but if they could be used as a training aid, then there was some merit to giving them a little bit of preservation and protection. And so that is why they got cut off. So you can actually see the full interior of a vehicle, which frankly the average person going to a tank museum does not get to see. Yeah, you got the cut in half Centurion or the cut in half Leopard, but no, normally you just go up to a tank and it's just, there's a steel wall and you have to envision, maybe from looking in a hatch or in a porthole. With this, you can see exactly what is going on. In this case, it's a Jagdpanzer 38, and as I'm looking at it, it seems to be an actual Jagdpanzer 38 because of the gun mount system, elevation and traverse actually. And yeah, you can see the rather ugly crew positions. I mean, I have mentioned and talked about the crew position in the Jagdpanzer before. I have on camera reenactors who have Jagdpanzers of their own say, "I would not want to go to war with this." There is an interview with a Jagdpanzer commander saying, "Sorry for disappointing my Jagdpanzer Hetzer fans, but no, there's one thing to look at a nicely sloped vehicle and there's another thing to actually be in one." And this explains why. Because we have the 4 crewmen in their position. You can see just how close up the gunner is to the driver. You can see the loader has to reach at a really awkward angle to load the gun. And of course you can see how the commander is way at the back, isolated from everything else. Although at least he gets a reasonable view. And of course it's not the only vehicle they have here like that. The other is this T-34-76. This is the same T-34, by the way, that keeps getting referenced in the Aberdeen test reports where the Americans looked at the T-34 and decided what they did and did not like about it. And again, it's fully stowed. You can see all the stowage bins on the floor, on the side. You can see just how little room is inside this little 2-man turret. Because again, remember, when this thing was originally designed, it was basically an upgrade of a 45mm gun. But they didn't upgrade the turret all that much. Engine is open for all. Yes, I get it that it kind of takes away from the history of the piece, but it does serve a purpose, especially when it is a vehicle that's not massively rare. I mean, if it's the only one of its kind, yeah, perhaps I could see an issue, but no, this is not the only T-34-76 out there. The King Tiger of Benning is not the only King Tiger out there. So there's a place for these cut open vehicles, and as I say, if it wasn't for the fact that somebody decided to cut these open and turn them into training aids, the purpose for which they are still serving today in this facility, that's why this facility exists, these tanks may not have survived. All right, hope you find it interesting and informative. Take care.